That is that with me. Actually, it was a weekend of explosive action, not too explosive. You this mood, please. Ginger up, yeah. Life goes on. It's great to have you on locker room.
Yes, good evening,
And
Jerry.
of course, our octopus. Locker room octopus.
Good evening, Jerry,
Good
and
evening, good evening. How are you
good
doing?
evening to good evening, ma'am.
No worry, no worry, no worry. I understand, I understand.
Well, it's so good to be here. I mean, it was an interesting weekend of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
football. A lot
yeah.
happened. So many results were expected. Some weren't.
Okay.
Barcelona game was actually postponed.
Yeah, we heard
In
about
APL, Manchester, yeah,
one of the bankroom staff.
yes,
Um,
you know,
they lost one of the bankroom staff,
yes,
Barcelona. They had to
their
cancel the
doctor, yes,
Osasuna game. Yeah,
yes, Arsenal game.
quite sad, quite sad.
That's quite sad. And I mean, Man City, we never can tell what exactly is going to be their season as it stands now. But then, of course, optimism is still very high that they most likely will make the top four. Manchester United just showed why Arsenal will, even the best of Arsenal and the worst of Manchester United, on a good day, it's going to be a very, very difficult game to play. And for Liverpool, everything seems to be going right for them. The referee also helped them. I don't know what happened that first penalty. I don't know, but then it's a very good day to talk football. Mo Salah is in the form of his life, and will I say congratulations Liverpool, or it's too
Wait, wait,
early?
wait, wait, wait. Please leave Salah out of this. He's in a world of his own. I don't want to hear whether he's a top class. Just leave him. United fans, just leave the man. Don't jinx him. Anyway, Mario, it's great to have you join us on Locker Room this evening. Okay, Mario is not in yet. Okay, he's still having some discussions with Amorim on how to survive the season, and of course, consoling the madam. What happened to Guardiola and his team? What's happening? What's happening? I think was it James I was telling. I said, don't be surprised. Nottingham Forest is going to make top four this season, and they are my candidate for top four. And I think the only thing that can stop Nottingham Forest from making that top four this season has to be Nottingham Forest. All right, let's get the show started as we talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, where the head coach Eric CHELLE has finalized the list of 23 players who represent Nigerian Super Eagles in the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. Initially, a provisional list of 39 players was released by the Nigerian Football Federation, which has now been trimmed down ahead of the matches. And if my sources are right, get me, sources are right, Ahmed Musa returns to the squad as captain for the first time since the African Cup of Nations over a year ago, where he did not play. Zaidu Sanusi, who missed last season with an injury, is also back in full fitness, along with Nathan Tella, who has made a comeback after nearly 2 years due to his strong performances and Bayer Leverkusen. Additionally, we hear that Rangers forward Cyril Dessers has earned his place in the team after scoring 19 goals this season, potentially pushing Tolu Arokodare out of the lineup. And Valencia's Sadiq Omar, with 4 goals in his last 7 La Liga matches, has replaced Paul Onacho, who was previously seen as a backup striker to Victor Osimhen. I think it's an insult for Paul Onacho to be a backup to Victor Osimhen. But it is what it is. I think I'm more relieved to hear Umar Sadiq, who I still believe he's an average striker as far as I'm concerned. Maybe Aroko Dari should be given a chance. Umar Sadiq has been given chances. It was at the Nations Cup in 2019. We had a game against Tunisia. We needed somebody to at least give us a spark. But the guy was just average. And Umar Sadiq on his day could just be like any other player. Nothing special. But on his day, we don't need a player who only appears during Christmas. We need a player who will be there January to November. It doesn't have to be when you're on holiday. Okay, you're always on holiday. You only appear to work on the day you decide to be. That's not the kind of player Nigeria needs right now, as far as preparation for the World Cup qualifiers is concerned.
Yes, and sadly, that's where we are. It goes back to what we've been talking about. the lack of a pool where we can get talent locally. We talk about these things, and it seems like we always find a way to go back to our foundation here. I mean, you can look back at the squad of the 90s, our best Super Eagles squad. You know that 90% of these guys, in fact, 100% of them were actually homegrown. They actually cut their teeth here. We can actually pinpoint at some point that this guy actually started from here, and then he moved to Zamalek. This guy actually started. I'm talking about Munich now. This guy actually started from here and moved to here. This guy, we can look at.
But you agree with me about back in the days, we didn't have players who were playing in the big leagues in the world. Nigerian players were not playing in the big leagues in the world. It was not as club football was not as big as it is now.
What do you mean not as big in the world? I mean, if you look at Emmanuel Munike in the 90s, he was actually a Barcelona player. So
before he moved to Barcelona, he was already a prominent player with the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
What I'm saying is, at what level did he move? He was from Nigeria. He actually moved to Zamalek. So it shows that he's got a talent. Zamalek is a big club in Nigeria, in African League, right? So this is exactly what I'm saying. We don't have those quality again. And this thing started when we started having, yes, we want to actually look at the financial part of it as one of the major problems, because the money and, of course, the lack of, the organizations for the league. Because when the league is actually strong, you definitely get the very best of players playing at the highest level.
The league can be strong, but what are the quality of the players?
See, that's the thing, right? If you have a strong league, let's even go back to Imba winning the Champions League in the early 2000s. That league at the time, we have at least... We have a set of players that we can look at and say these guys are top players. If those Imba players, those quality, those level of players Imba used in winning the Champions League, of course, they are majorly Nigerians, apart from Joseph Frimpong, who was a striker, and of course, Mori Ogunbi, a midfielder from Republic of Benin. These guys are largely Nigerians. Now, if we have those quality today,
do you know why?
There's no way they will not break into the national team.
Do you know why that in squad, most of the players did not make it to the national team?
As at that time, right, we still have players in playing at least...
there's some of them were given chances. I remember one of the strikers, and one other striker who even played for Sam CCSS team. I can't remember his name right now. He played as a fullback for CCSS.
Kennedy Chinwo.
No, was it
on the 20 World Cup now?
He played on the 20 World Cup.
Kennedy Chinwo.
There's still another player, and I'm not remembering his name. Most of them don't get discovered at a young age. So when the time now arrives for them to blossom, there was even a young guy. He did very well at the Chan. Keshi took him to the Chan. It was this short.
No, it's not. He's actually not a young guy. He's just short. AGK Zuronye, something like AGK is his first name. I can't remember his full name.
So that guy was a good player in the league.
I think it was with Rangers at the point. Yes, Rangers.
So, but the fact that age is not on his side makes it difficult. Why I brought this out is that we can talk about the league for all we care, but at a certain age where you're supposed to blossom, be given a chance to play in the league, you will not be given a chance because they believe that you're not matured enough. That is the problem the league is also having. You might give a league player the chance, but when he give him a chance, when he shows himself, he's already 35. Before he now comes to Super Eagles, he might not be able to meet up with the pace. Let me go to Mayowa. Mayowa, it's great to have you join us on Locker Room because it's good to say bring in the league players, but there are a lot of systematic problems we need to look at. We cannot just come as journalists and say include the league players, and you see them play just 6 matches and they can no longer measure up because age is no longer on their side. And the national team does not give you time to play lots of matches to prove yourself. You get? So the grassroots is very important. That's why I always hammer. I may not be a big fan of bringing out the league players, but the under 17, the under 20, that's where the real local young players should be given a chance to prove themselves and give them opportunity of being a part of the Super Eagles. But if you talk about those who are already playing Yimba now, okay, they are even our elder brothers. And these are those people you want to rely on to be running around with those African boys that have no mercy. Oh, come on, you have problem. You have problem. Well, it's great to have you join us.
it's always amazing to be weekend with a lot of surprises. But in any case, that by decide. I mean, you've made a very valid point. The thing is there is a need for our grassroots to work. If our grassroots does not work, we will continue to be, relying on the foreign players. And you said one thing that is very, very critical. Yes, we clamor for, we want home-based player, our league players to be included in the national team and the rest of that. However, in as much as I'm a big fan of, bringing our local guys into the league, how many of them have a record we can follow? If you pick any average player in the English league from the non-league to the EPL, you have a record of how they claiming to be 25, and when they get the opportunity, they won't be able to match up. However, I still believe we have enough quality in our league. This now brings me back to the club themselves. What are the clubs doing to be able to develop their feeder team? How many out of the top 20 teams, apart from Remo Stars, who is doing something fantastic, at the risk of sounding like we are doing free advert for them, apart from them that is doing something fantastic with their academy, how many of the remaining 19 teams have a feeders academy that can actually feed them players? I can bet it with you, probably maybe one or two more, probably maybe three. And that is it. We have 20 teams, have only three. So there's a need for us to be able to get players from the grassroots. And for us to be able to do that, our clubs, they need to do better. And doing better would also help us in terms of, quenching fraud, because a whole lot of, I'm not indicting anybody, a whole lot of the players that apply their trade in the Nigerian league at the moment, majority of them, are way older than what they are claiming, and we don't want to see that going forward. So there's a need for our football to do better in the grassroots, and this is where the NFF comes in. What are they doing with the allocations FIFA has given them? What is the master plan? The current NFF president, what is the master plan? What are the master plan? What are the things that he has shown us to show us that he's interested, in growing football in the grassroots? That is zero. So going forward, we need people who understand the game, that will be able to put, things in place for our grassroots players to thrive. We don't have things in place for grassroots players to thrive, and that's the reason why, we are not seeing under 17 players come through like they used to in the days of Kanu Nwankwo and the rest of them. For us to be able to do better, we need to do better from our grassroots.
All right, let's come to the list, the Super Eagles list. Anytime soon, it will be made official. And the inclusion of Ahmed Musa has continued to generate a lot of views. And even Musa has even come out to say that he's been talking so much about the game. What do you think about the continuous push to have Ahmed Musa in the team? What difference is he actually going to make? Though, from my sources who were at the Nations Cup, they said Ahmed Musa was crucial to how the team did very well at the Nations Cup. Though he did not play, he was a big motivating factor in that team from the group stage down to the final. And that is why some people in the team believes that him being part of the team can actually spur these players to do something extra against Rwanda and Zimbabwe ahead of qualifying for the World Cup. That is the case they have. So, but do you think this case is tenable?
Jerry, the physio is part of the team.
Yeah.
The coach is part of the team.
Okay.
The assistant, the medical, everybody, the trainer, they are part of the team. Right. And if you say you need Ahmed Musa as part of the backroom staff, I don't have issues. But if we are saying he's part of the team, the Super Eagles player that is going to be, executing the job on the pitch, then we can start having a conversation about form, about how consistent it is against players that will be dropped. These are the questions. Nobody is saying Ahmed Musa should not be part of the party going to Rwanda. No, I don't have issues with him. I'm saying if we are doing this on merit, yes, it should be there. Okay, you want to be part of the backroom staff? Okay. Are they saying Ahmed Musa?
Is he going to deny the sport to another player who they are giving us something additional on the pitch? That's your issue.
That's the issue here.
Okay.
That's the big question. Now the question again is this: if Ahmed Musa is going, we know it's not going to be a starter. I mean, we know he's not going to be a
He
star.
might even come from the bench too.
Good. So why don't you just take Ahmed Musa as part of the team if you want motivation? Let him be the supporters club in
The backroom
the
staff can be as big as possible.
I mean, that is one thing that has helped Pep Guardiola succeed years in, year on, because one of the things he does, he always says that he likes his backroom staff to be very, very large. We can do that. Increase the number of backroom staff. I don't have issues, even if it include bringing Ahmed Musa or some yoga motivator or mental motivator to inspire the boys. Leicester City did it in that triumphant season 2013 when they won 2014 when they won the league. They brought in a mental specialist who is actually a psychologist who helped them actually lift their mental block every single game they played. Right, we can do that too. I don't have issues. But then when we're talking about the team, I said this. So I think about 3 days ago, I said the what happened on the field is just about 10% of what happens. It's just about 10% of what we see. 90% of what happens on the field happens off the field. So if you want an Ahmed Musa to be part of that 90%, that shouldn't be a problem. So it goes back to what we've been saying. This is my slot. Somebody is actually pressing for him to be part of the team.
Whether they like it or
Whether
not.
we like it or not. Eric Schell does not know him, right? He does not know him, so if he has to pick his team based on form and on merit, you and I know that Ahmed Musa will not make the cut.
Are they already creating doubt that Eric Schell has the capacity to do it? Because that was the reason why Pesero was pushed out. They felt that Pesero could not inspire the boys. That they needed Ahmed Musa, meaning that they didn't have confidence again in Pesero. If they are not giving Ahmed Musa a much like role to inspire the team, which is supposedly the job of the coach, they're already putting a doubt in the mind of Eric Schell. Would that be good for this team in his first game for the Super Eagles? Maiwa, I'm just talking about the impact that Ahmed Musa will bring into that team, positive and the negative angle of it.
Well, to be honest with you, I've said consistently, Ahmed Musa is taking away a slot from somebody that can actually do something for us. When was the last time Ahmed Musa played for the Super Eagles? When was the last time he featured for the Super Eagles? It has been a very, very long time. I'll give a typical example. There's a particular Scott Carson who plays for Manchester City. He's part of the backroom staff. He's still a player, but his work majorly is more like a backroom staff, sharing his experience. He only gets to feature when probably everybody is injury struck or they just want to feature him so that I can get a medal, and that's just it. And he has been like that for over 5 years. Mm-hmm. He brings a whole lot of experience, but is not a critical part of the Man City squad. Like Ikechukwu rightly said, if you want to bring in an Ahmed Musa as a motivator, yes, bring him in. I mean, he has a whole lot of experience that he can share. He has traveled far and wide. He can inculcate this experience, to this younger one, give them the experience for them to be able to how to play, how to move, and just that. Fine, but not as a part of the team list. I mean, it doesn't make any logical sense. If things goes south in that particular game, do you think an Ahmed Musa will be subbed in to perform any magic? No, it's not possible. Like Ikechukwu said again, Eric Schell does not know him. He has not seen him play. This person has not been part of the Eagles for how many years now? He has not played a single game for the Super Eagles. So why is he included in the team? Why is he included in the team? I mean, and you are dropping an hour that Ahmed Musa is part of the team, and that's the reason why he's part of the team. And we have constantly said it. If you continue to do godfatherism, our football will never grow. I mean, 2018 World Cup, somebody came out and said, I was the one that said they should pick Ahmed Musa. I think it's rarely said, and this is not good for Nigerian football. It means you don't need to put in the work. Just have a godfather that can speak on your behalf, that can insist that your name is on the list, and you get on the list. This does not make any sense. And I hope the NFF track back on this because it doesn't speak well for our national team.
All right. I will understand that Ceredesas, he's been on fire of recent, and ahead of Paul Onacho anytime, any day for me. And Umar Sadiq, I'm not too sure, but definitely ahead of Paul Onacho too for me, because Paul Onacho and Victor Boniface have been tested and trusted and not trusted. Okay, that's the word. And now we need to test those we can hopefully trust. Okay,
Okay, so basically, first, Serideza. I remember I think it was last month. No, I think it was about 2 months ago. We were having a conversation on Serideza. And the concern was actually about Serideza and Sadiq Umar because of the Nations Cup. Why did Sadiq Umar make the list? Of course, you know, injury knocked him out of that Nations Cup, and Serideza didn't. And Serideza has been on fire even before now.
Yeah, we had a good season last time.
Of course. So we were having a conversation about, you know, who is supposed to come in. Why should we have Serideza ahead of Sadiq Umar ahead of? I think I was on the position that Sadiq Umar was actually a better fit for the Super Eagles than Serideza. That was the conversation that day.
He's enjoying on my slot.
Then
it's my slot that he's enjoying.
Then now seeing the both of them in the team, I mean, I'm quite pleased. For Victor Boniface, I think he should actually cut his teeth and actually do. I don't know what he needs to do, because it seems that there's this level of relaxation that he brings when he comes to the Super Eagles. It doesn't give that energy like someone who wants to fight. It reminds me of a certain Ahmed Mido of Tottenham, who was actually an Egyptian. This guy, anytime he put on the Tottenham jersey, you think he's just one player who is not. How did Tottenham also sign him? But if this guy put on the Egyptian jersey, he's a different kind of beast. Some players are like that. They don't really do well for national team. We have the likes of Jonathan Akpobore. Every time he comes to Super Eagles, he struggles. So some of these guys are actually not meant to play for the Super Eagles. Sorry to use that word, but it's actually the truth. Now, we can actually look at the likes of Jonathan Akpobore and say the reason why they actually struggle was the Lagos fans. But these guys are actually enjoying, you know, the ambience of Akwa Ibom, where the fans are actually not bullish. You know, where they will actually turn against you and start supporting the opponent. All sorts of things. And then you don't give your maximum. It begs for question. I like Victor Boniface. I really want to see him do the best. I think he's the only person that is very close in terms of the number 9 person. Yes, you may want to argue that he's actually not an out-and-out striker like Victor Osimhen, but
of late he's not been on form.
Yes.
Recently.
So if a Victor Boniface, as bad as his form is, it is still better than Ahmed Musa's form, cannot make the cut.
Please,
yes.
You know,
yes. We have to say it. It is the truth.
It's an insult to Victor Boniface right now.
That's what I'm saying.
To start bringing the conversation whether him and
no,
yes, I agree with you.
We are going to.
I agree with
it
you
actually
on that.
Points to something.
I'm buttressing your point.
Okay, that this is my slot.
Yes, it's an insult too, because if you leave out Victor Boniface and Ahmed Musa is on the playing list, it shows that merit is no longer the yardstick for making the Super Eagles.
But like they say,
pretty sad.
Like they say,
in my slot.
Like they say, if the bed keep shaking at night, the home is at peace.
Even ahead of Umar Sadiq.
If the Super Eagles can actually get a good result, what we want is actually the 3 points at the end of the day and say, we've qualified.
All right. Very, very interesting comment coming on the YouTube session. We also encourage you to call in via the studio line. The WhatsApp line is beaming under the screen. I'll be able to take your calls from wherever you're calling us from. Please keep it simple and tell us your name, where you're calling from. We'll be able to take your comment. Of course, those who keep dropping your comment on the YouTube session, we acknowledge that. Olugbenge Bamdele is saying that the NPFL board should set up prerequisites for player wishing to play the Nigerian league, like age, academical, diploma, etc. before getting into the club. You're going to deny a lot of people their meal ticket. A lot of people here plan that in 10 years' time, when these guys are leaving, subsequently, this is what we're going to be doing. Fine, they can do that. Okay? And Umar Sadiq seems, he said, and I quote Olugbega Bamdele again, says that Umar Sadiq seems to be scoring a tactical goal. How many times does he score his tactical goals? Okay? We'll be looking for those tactical goals each time he's invited to the Eagles. And this one says, which Onuachu could not do. He was comparing Umar Sadiq to Onuachu. Boniface would not enter the Eagles list. Okay? The man is already writing his list. Melissa Holt says that please help us beg Musa to leave the slot now. What else is he looking for again? Him no be CR7. Yeah. All right. Without the respect of Musa, definitely is not CR7, but he has a slot. He is a slot. Okay, he says she leave the slot now. Melissa.
He's not CR7, but it's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Wow, that's hilarious. Anyway, let's talk about the NPFL. Things are going on in the NPFL. Leaders Remo Stars suffered a 2-1 defeat against Bendel Insurance at the Samuel Ogbemude Stadium in Benin City on Saturday. Menyiwa Orise I beg your pardon. Okay, that name is quite very tongue twisting. Talking about Menyiwa, he opened the scoring for Insurance just 2 minutes into the match and extended their lead 10 minutes after the second half. Remo Stars managed to pull on back with Arinze and Akwe scoring 8 minutes before the final whistle, but it was not enough to change the outcome of the game. And of course, that goal, talking about the Benin Insurance goal, is making a lot of waves online. Fantastic goal to win the match. And of course, for Remo Stars, it seems that the journey is going to be long to win the title. Maiwa, it looks like it is not violent, it is over. Finidi George of Rivers United said that, and it looks more like that every day.
Well, definitely. I mean, we've said it over and over again. But however, one thing that annoys me about the league this season is the away team hardly win syndrome. And the last time we talked about Remo Star having leading 8 points, leading with 8 points, we talked about the number of away games they are going to play, the fact that they are not guaranteed to win all the away games, and lo and behold, the away game against Bender, Bender Insurance, they lost. As a champion in waiting, as everybody has given them, I mean, you would have expected that they should have done better, but they did not. Even Shooting Star also lost away too. So the problem has always been a away team is always losing. However, with the syndrome of a away team losing, definitely Remo Star will have their day too, and that's the reason why I still feel they might probably take it. But going forward, I think having just one away team win this week does not speak well for our league. I think we need to do better in terms of how the league is restructured. And I understand the fact that a whole lot of them, they have to travel by road. There's a security concern. Most of them, they get to the match almost like 24 hours before the game. They have to train, and you would not expect them to put in the performance. However, there's a need for the league board to do better in terms of the organization. I don't know how they are going to help them. Maybe there should be a pool of funds that will help ease the away team traveling, because most of the time it's always due because the traveling stress is due to the fact that a whole lot of these teams going for away games, they don't have enough funds to probably take charter flights to and fro because of the cost and the rest of that. Probably maybe this is where the government needs to step in terms of subsidizing, so that we can see the quality of our league, go up more than what it is right now. But in any case, I think Remo Stars has what it takes to win, because of the fact that when they play at home, they probably have the opportunity to be able to win at home because of the home team must win syndrome that we have at the moment.
All right, for Remo Stars, they are privately owned. I don't know how financially capable the owner of Remo Stars is to have a private jet that will fly the team to various games. Mostly, I think they are in Ikenne, taking the flight from Lagos to Benin. And of course, that would be a lot because flights to cost right now is not easy. But taking a look at the table, Remo Stars just having 8 points at the top of the table, ahead of Rivers United, who Finidi George has said that they are still in the title race. It's not over until it's over. And of course, Ikorodu City happens to be the Nottingham Forest of the NPFL. And hopefully I'll be able to have representatives of the Ikorodu City guys in the studio maybe this Thursday or this week, and to tell us how they are doing it. Ikorodu used to be my hood, it's still my hood, and I'm really, really proud of them. They're doing well, making Ikorodu really proud in the NPFL. And who says they might win the league from the behind? I don't know. Something just excites me when I look at the table. I say, can Ikorodu City upstage everybody? Because they are going away to win games. They went away to defeat Lobby Stars. I think that's recommendable. They've won a lot of home away games this season. For a team coming from National League,
True.
to go away and be winning games and remain third on the table with 10 games to spare, that's really fantastic. You must give it to Ikorodu City. I think they're doing something right. Maiwa.
Well, definitely, they are doing something right. They've been very dogged in the league. A whole lot of people do not give them the chance of where they are at the moment. but they are proving to be punching above their weight. And if you look at the start this season, they are one of the teams that has been able to get better points away from home, and that's the reason why they are where they are right now. So I mean, I hope they can keep up the momentum. We don't want a situation whereby you do one season and you are a one season wonder kind of thing. But
MFM
at
style.
least yes, you remember when MFM won the league?
Yeah.
What's his name now? This popular guy, I can't remember his name now. Godwin Enahina,
Yeah.
the GM, and he was so proud about MFL and the rest of that. Where is MFM today, right now? So I mean, I hope it's not a one season wonder thing. I hope they are able to keep up and do well. Let's see. For me, I would say probably maybe they are just having beginner's luck. If they can repeat the same thing next season, then I'll probably believe in their capabilities. But however, they've given a good account of themselves. If you look at the number of away games they've been able to at least get a point from or get points from this season. So kudos to Ikorodu City. And I'm hoping to hear what they've been doing fantastically well. We are talking about something the other time as regards, private jet and the rest of that. This is where the government steps in. Sometimes the government needs to step in terms of subsidizing all these things. I don't think it is wise for a team to travel from Lagos here and you are going to honor a match in Maiduguri, owing to the fact of the security challenge on the road and just that. Definitely, it is much more safer and much more faster to fly. And the players will be well rested to be able to give us the kind of quality we want. This is where, the MPFL and the government and the, sports commission need to sit down and put their eyes together to be able to do something, to be able to help these guys that are struggling. If not for anything, subsidize the transportation of these guys so that they can begin to take flights rather than take buses from Lagos to Maiduguri.
All right, maybe one of these days I would like to do a documentary on how these guys travel by road from one place to the other, mostly maybe Ikorodu City, to see what they go through. Because some of them tell me stories of how they have to make sure they have enough security and try as much as to avoid traveling by night, because they will have to pray their way down to their location. Imagine your own anything can happen in 5 minutes. We'll know what happened to the was it the media guys that went to cover was it an Eagles game? They had to travel through the east, and we lost a cameraman. Was it it was during the Nations Cup qualifiers. Yeah.
No,
For the
World
Super League.
Cup qualifiers.
World Cup qualifier.
World Cup qualifier.
Yeah.
World Cup qualifier.
It was really, really a sad one. Okay, those are the fixtures. So hope you enjoyed them. And talking about the table out there and talking about the results of this weekend games. We've already told you Remo Stars lost 2-1 to Penn Insurance. Rivers United keeping up the tempo with a 1-0 win against Niger Tornadoes. Shooting Stars that were looking like the pretenders, the Tottenham Hotspur of the NPFL. They lost to Katsina United away by a goal to nil. Kwara United beating Kano Pillars by 2-0. Plateau United 3 points deducted for infraction. It's like Plateau United is in all of the wrong things this season. They will always be found wanting. They won against Abia Warriors by a goal to nil. That 3 points might not count. If we look at the 3 points deduction, they are going to appeal. Are they still going to appeal?
Let's see, perhaps. But then for now, we really cannot, be definite. But it should be a common thing for them to
they might appeal. Because it's not over until it's over as far as the NPL is concerned. Now, United won, Sunshine Stars won. It seems that Salisu Yusuf has found a way to see if he can save Nassau United season. He's doing that well. With the point against Sunshine Stars, still something. Enyimba won El Kano Warriors nil. Kano One Core is doing something with Enyimba. And we heard that Mboma is back. Talking about the man who was the league highest goal scorer sometime with Enyimba. And of course, Rangers won, Aqua United won, and Heartland won, Bayelsa United won. Okay, let's go into other details right now. Taking it over to Europe. Okay, as the 2024-2025 Europa League progresses, English teams are looking to maintain an impressive form. Okay, let's go to the La Liga. The race for the La Liga. Who wins the Pichichi? Okay, talking about the race for the La Liga. For me, I'm disappointed at Atletico Madrid. They lost over the weekend. They were already almost winning that game. They conceded 2 late goals. Maybe their mind were already on the game, the Madrid derby second leg in the Champions League. And it looks like it's Barcelona's league to lose alongside Real Madrid because the point difference is not much, but Atletico is gradually losing grip.
Yes, they are actually losing grip. And one of the reasons we can actually point to Atletico Madrid is the fact that the coach, Cholo, the man who is known as Diego Simeone, has actually changed his style. And this is newly found similarly attacking style of play, more like he's actually moved away from what people like to call haram football or demonic football. It's actually really not a good thing for him. I mean,
the
Atletico
master
Madrid,
of the dark arts.
yes, the master of the dark arts. Atletico Madrid that we know, as much as they can defend, but they can also get the goals and win games. And that was how they were able to get 2 league titles, and one with this Luis Suarez, and of course the one they won earlier in 2013. And of course, they got to 2 Champions League finals. Of course, they lost those Champions League final to the owners of Champions League, talking about Real Madrid. Now, looking at the La Liga, yes, we might want to say Real Madrid has got the players with class, they got the names to actually win big games. But Barcelona have shown over time this season that they know what it takes to actually crack Real Madrid up. And if it comes to a 2 race, the both of them, Barcelona will most likely edge Real Madrid. They've defeated Real Madrid this season more than once, and not just narrowly. They've defeated them. In fact, they've humiliated them.
Yeah.
So it shows that this season they are superior. I mean, Hans Flick has been doing excitingly. Everything he touches against Real Madrid seems to turn to gold. So I agree with you on that part when he said it seems like it's Barcelona's league title to lose. And the Champions League is where we want to say, okay, Real Madrid might have that edge, because sometimes, they don't just have to do anything. The Champions League will just come to them. But
interesting, the league might come to head-to-head. The way it's going.
If it comes to head-to-head, Barcelona will still win. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Barcelona, I agree with you. It's Barcelona's league to lose. If Barcelona's players stay fit till the end of the campaign, I don't think they are going to lose this league title to Real Madrid. Not at all.
The Pichichi as well, is up for discussion. Lewandowski is on 21 goals. Mbappe is behind with 18 goals. Those are the 2 prospects as far as the Pichichi is concerned. I didn't even know that Lewandowski still got it. But sometimes he just comes on the pitch and make it look easy. At his age.
He's actually a generational striker. One of those strikers that you look at and you say, okay, yes, this guy is like a Cristiano Ronaldo. This guy is like a Lionel Messi. This guy is like a Luis Suarez. These guys are not just players.
You know how difficult it is at that age to play in number 9?
It tells you that their quality is generational. They are not the ones you give 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons and say they are done. No, they are there to score. These guys are built to score goals. These guys are built to score goals.
I remember closer, Maiwa, another evergreen striker.
Yes, I mean Miroslav Klose is one of them. He's one of those strikers that, as they say, wine gets better as his age. The same thing is happening to Lewandowski. You will not know that Lewandowski is clocking 35 this year, and the way he plays, you would think probably maybe he's still in his late 20s. He's scoring goals with reckless abandon. Scoring 21 goals in La Liga, and having an Mbappe chasing. But in any case, Mbappe too has picked up from, earlier in the season. I was one of those that criticized Mbappe and wonder what he was doing in Real Madrid. I think his performance now is beginning to shut me up, and he's backing up performance with goals, and that's what we are seeing. With the rate at which Barcelona, Real Madrid is going, I think I want to tip Mbappe to take it. There's the way the goals are distributed in Barcelona. Yes, Lewandowski might score a couple of goals, but I don't think at the rate at which Mbappe is scoring, I think Mbappe will outscore Lewandowski at the end of the year. So I'm tipping Mbappe to take the Pichichi. I mean, he has proven that he's beginning to get into his rhythm and he's beginning to do it. But for Lewandowski, I think even if he leaves Barcelona right now, there are still a couple of clubs that he will play and he will still deliver. Class, I mean, he has remained a classical player and he remains, a class player any day, anytime. Good performance for him. But in any case, for the league, I think Barcelona takes it. They have a game in hand, and they are 15 goals ahead of Real Madrid. I don't see Real Madrid scoring that. Barcelona is scoring for fun. So I think probably Barcelona takes the league at the end of the day, while Atletico Madrid will just make do with the Champions League spot they are in at the moment, and probably focus on the Champions League game against Real Madrid.
All right, let's talk about the conversation everybody's waiting for. Where have Arsenal gone this season? It's like they're still on holiday. and are Liverpool champions already, Ikechukwu? Because I would like you to answer. But I want you to tell us how you intend fulfilling your prophecy. Because it's wanting to become a prophet overnight. It's wanting to match it up with the same tempo. Because I don't want you to become Octopus Paul and you are not delivering, you are not showing receipts, no record. Because, okay, you say Arsenal have a game in hand. They're playing Chelsea now. So if they win this game this week, they can still win the league. Yes. Yeah, continue, please. We are all ears. In case you could be behind the scenes, also listening to you.
I mean, where have Arsenal gone wrong? It's a lot. One of the biggest problems Arsenal had, this season. I mean, going by, their past 2 seasons' performance against Manchester City, where they actually lost the league narrowly. Or will I say narrowly? They actually lost the league with, I don't want to use the word narrowly, but I understand, the point difference. What I meant
they
by
have a game in hand, so 13
wait,
points
what I
narrow.
meant by narrowly,
it's 15 points now. It's not 15 points. It's 12. Because according to your calculation, a game in hand means 12. It's not 15.
Wait, Jerry, wait. I'm trying to make a point.
Okay,
Arsenal's lessons from Manchester City's
Okay.
back-to-back loss when they lost the league title to Manchester City. Now, they lost this league after being on top of the log for quite a number of months.
They've never been on top of the league
And
this season.
And Arsenal's problem is actually not a striker. They don't
And yet they've never been on top.
They don't have a
this
goal
season.
scoring problem. Arsenal's problem is depth and lack of rotation. They don't have fresh players coming in. I don't know. It's towards the end of the season we started seeing this CHELLE and Arteta trusting Nwaneri because Saka got injured. If Saka is still fit in this particular season, you wouldn't have seen much of Nwaneri. This is exactly one of the problems that he had, and that's where they got it wrong. Now, are Liverpool champions already? I think I may have to actually start agreeing with you.
Let's wait till May.
I'll throw in the towel.
No.
I'll throw in the towel at this
Keep
point.
Keep the towel.
Because
he has to keep this towel till May.
No.
He has to sustain this tempo because I need to be. We need this tempo to continue because with the full assurance when he gave us, Arsenal fans said they are going to win the league.
Well,
yes, don't throw the towel. Let the prophecy continue. Because I want to see the end of it. May is still far.
No. At this point, I think
this is March.
I think I may have to.
There's April. There's May.
At this point, I think I may have to congratulate you officially.
Really?
Prophet, why? Prophet, why?
Prophet,
don't you believe in your own prophet? What do you want us to believe if you are getting your prophecy?
Don't do that.
Have you not seen the prophecy where
Maybe he was on glasses. So he has at least don't rule the glasses because it will become worse.
But
I
think it's going to be very, very difficult for Liverpool to actually lose the league at this point. Mathematically, it's still very much open.
Yeah, mathematically, it's still open. That's what I want to hear. Yes.
No, but I mean it's true. 30 points.
Yes.
They have 30 points to fight for.
Yes.
They are 15 ahead. No, 12 ahead.
Liverpool can still lose 4 matches or 5 matches.
I mean, it just takes Liverpool to lose 4 matches.
Yes.
And Arsenal
catch up. Yes. Arsenal will even win their remaining 10 games. And win they'll beat Chelsea. Yes.
Man City has done it before.
Yeah, Man City has done it before. He can still do it. Arsenal can do it. At least Arteta, Saka can be back anytime soon. Your prophet has lost his word.
No, but on a very serious way, I think Arteta is a very unserious coach, and that's just the honest truth. A whole lot of people gave Amorim the stick when he said he doesn't think they will give him the amount of time they gave Arteta. But the thing is this: the same thing is happening to you 3 times in a row. I mean, it shows you have not learned your lessons as a coach. One of the reason why you go back and watch matches is for you to be able to correct your mistake. First time, the squad lacked depth. Second season, the squad lacked depth. The same thing is happening again the third season. And it's always a particular time in the season. The second half of the season, that's when they begin to explode. That's when they begin to capitulate. And that's when things go wrong for them. It has happened 3 times in a row. And Arteta has not been able to fix it. So for me personally, I think Arteta is very stubborn and he doesn't learn. And that's the reason why they are where
Please,
they
so
are
you
at the
should
moment.
continue to be stubborn, so that those who want to win the league can win the league. Anyway, time is not really our friend. We will have to go. We live to fight another day, and May is still far, and I can't wait to see Kechku wearing the Liverpool jersey by the month of May. Of course, we're going to have a big party that May, and definitely it's going to be all love. Definitely, we don't walk alone. That is why we always have a lot of people around us. We never walk alone. Thank you, Maiwa, for being a part of the show. And of course, Ikechukwu, it's been awesome having you. And of course, Ikechukwu behind the scene has been singing Never Walk Alone song. Please, keep it calm, keep it easy. And of course, also big thanks to the likes of Shegun and not leaving out Siva and of course, Sam and of course, Paul for being awesome on the show this evening. Until we meet again, my name is Jerry Apelo High. Saying stay safe, and if not to anything at all, do it the sports way.